Hi, this is Ayla Luke from walkfusion.com, and today we're going to answer some questions from a new and small restaurant owner. And this is the second part of questions that this person gave to us. And let's go ahead and start answering the questions right now. It's about wok ranges. The first question: what should be the optimal power of a gas wok range if I choose a 26,000 or a 52,000 BTU range? And that's a really good question because there are a lot of ranges out there. There are high-end professional ranges that range up to even 150,000 BTUs. And that actually makes a big difference because when you're concerned about cooking food, you want to make sure you have the right amount of heat and flame and also capacity size of the wok. If you have a larger diameter wok, you can carry more food. But also you need to be concerned is that if you have too much wok and also too much flame, and you're cooking something real small, you might be wasting your time because you can cook it too fast and it may make the food taste burnt. So in your case, when you're talking about cooking for a small amount of people, in the sense of it might be a trailer or mobile restaurant, so to speak, you should go for the 26,000 BTU cooking range. And this is the picture that you had sent to us. So I think you should go with something like this. This is a common design for a cooking range. And also you need to choose and pick two of these ranges because having just one is not really sufficient, because when you have a line of people, you want to be able to cook for not just for one person and one dish at a time. Could you imagine during lunchtime, you can't just cook one person, one dish. You need to cook multiple dishes. So you need two of these 26,000 BTU cooking ranges to really get you going. So you may have to accommodate your spacing available within your mobile area to have both of these flames, and also consider the diameter of the wok. That is also important so that the woks don't bump each other when you're cooking the food. The second question we have here is, what is your opinion about MSG, which is monosodium glutamate, and should it be used in our meals? Well, we've added to the marinade for some of our dishes and used during some of the frying processes, but it's up to you. It's really an opinionated thing. In most of our recipes, we do not use MSG at all. So I think we can accomplish a good tasting, healthy meal without using it. Now, in some cases, you can use a little bit to enhance your flavor. There are people who have used this stuff, and some people are allergic or have headaches coming from eating some of this MSG. So you need to be careful. Read up about it. We've got something on our blog, and you can read more things. And there's an article out there that's published. That's at walkfusion.com/blog. The third question here is about noodle cookers. And would you suggest to use a professional noodle cooker or a regular pot? Will that do the job and be as good as that? Well, of course, a noodle cooker is going to be much more encompassing, much more full, and you may want to use that. But in your case, I think a regular pot or stock pot will do the job for now. Later on, you can invest more money, spend more money to buy a noodle cooker. But let's just see how much noodles are being made and how much you're going to be selling of them. So let's do that first, and that sounds like a way to go. Now, the fourth question that we have here is going to be, what's the correct proportion of meat and vegetables in a dish? And then also, how are we going to make a production of dishes to make it cheaper by using less meat but keep it meaty? Well, the proportions that we suggest here, in the recipe, in most of our dishes, we have a 33% of it meat and the rest of the 66% is vegetables. And that's a really good combination to have, vegetables over meat. And, you need to concern also that some people may not even want meat. So you may be looking for some vegetarian dishes as well. A lot of times is that it's also healthier to have this balance in Chinese food, so it's a little more healthier than other foods that you've seen out there. Now, if you want to make it a little bit more meatier, you want to use something that's a 50-50 balance. So try a 50-50 balance, meaning 50% meat, 50% vegetables, and then that will make a balance. It may also be a little more meatier, but won't overdo the taste of the food itself. Now, the fifth question that you have has to do with storing cooked food. What's your opinion about putting stir-fried food in a hot display, and does it lose flavor rapidly after it's been stir-fried? Well, this is a big loaded question. I mean, if you're trying to display the food because people are not familiar with what the foods look like, then you may want to do something that's more interesting. Maybe take pictures of these stir-fried foods and then put them up there as a display. And as even at McDonald's, what's or meal one, value meal two, value meal three, and some people don't even know what the names of the dishes are. So why not just put a big 8 by 8 or 12 by 12 picture of each of these food and say, here's number one, number two, number three. In some of the Korean restaurants that we go to, I don't know what I'm eating, but I say I want number two. Let's go for that. So, many other people may recognize a dish. So if you're talking about using it to display, just take some pictures of it. That might be another option. Now, if you want to use the food just to show it and then actually feed these or give these food to people, you should keep it within, a 30 to 40 minute, process, or leave it sit out there for that time period. But after that, you need to serve the food right away. And you had asked if the food does it lose its flavor when you do that. Some of the flavor will be dissipated and going away. You got to be concerned more of this, is that the vegetables will become very soft and not as crunchy texture as it should be. I mean, when you eat the food and bite into it, you want to have that bite and taste and feel of good food. If it gets soggy, it's not going to taste that great. Also, the gravy will start to break down and become more watery. So that's another concern you need to be playing with. So take a look at those things and ask us some more questions, and we'll respond back to them more. And the sixth question is, which are the best sauces to add when you're stir frying egg noodles? Well, there's a ton of sauces that we've designed, so there's no specific best sauce. We can give you some ideas that we can use. Usually, if you want a particular taste, you need to look at these factors. Do you want to make the dish more sweet? Is that the flavor you want? Do you want more salt? Is that the flavor you want? Do you want a fishy type taste, a fish enhanced flavor? Maybe a curry flavor, or maybe other types of flavor that you're looking for. So focus on that first. And then, for instance, if you want a sweet taste, you can try a little bit of hoisin sauce. That's Hoisin. Hoisin sauce with a little red sherry wine. That will create the red, or I should say not red, the sweet ambience. I'm thinking of red wine for some reason. And then if you want a salty taste, you can use a portion of diluted oyster flavored sauce with a mixture of sesame oil, and use a 3 parts to 1 balance. And add a little toss of wine there to make it ting a little bit. So try that. For saltier taste, use a 3 parts to 1 and use it with a diluted version of oyster flavored sauce with sesame oil. And if you have any more questions, please let us know and we'll try to answer them as well.